Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Uchiha 7. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and like always, peace and love. So, episode 224, this is the review. Just off of the episode and everything that we expected and what we didn't expect. So, this wasn't a crazy episode as far as hand to hand combat. It was more of a slice of life and kind of growth between the two characters, mostly Wasabi. Um, As you guys know, it was Wasabi versus Iwabe. I was hoping that it was going to be a little bit more action packed as far as hand to hand combat, but Boruto had to establish the characters somehow, some way, without fighting being involved. If you guys watch the episode, you'll notice that um, Wasabi going into the fight was already holding so much on her shoulders, right? Um, Even in the locker room with her team, you can just tell that she wasn't fully there. If you know Wasabe as a character, she holds a lot. Um, she's energetic, she's confident, and she's always the first one to put her best foot forward, right? But with this episode, it wasn't that. She was kind of to herself, just weighing a lot. And I think this episode was important for a lot of characters, as far as the journey that they want to go towards. Um, we get a brief interaction with her parents, and just the expectations that they have for her, and then as well as her grandma. They want her to basically shoot for the sky and become Hokage. That should be everybody's goal within the leaf. I know everybody cannot become the Hokage, but you should try to want to be the best ninja that you can be, and that's always a plus within Naruto. If you're not trying to be Hokage, are you really trying to be the best version of yourself? So I do appreciate that, because if you did watch Naruto, there were a couple of characters that wanted to be um, Hokage. They trained very, very hard, though they weren't on the level of Sasuke and Naruto, and just the other generational characters that were super, super OP. I think that's an important goal to have, because you have something that you can branch off of and just kind of focus on, right? So, this episode was kind of cool. I was expecting a little bit more. I give it a 7 out of 10, just based off of it was more of a growth episode. We get to the fight, and Iwabe is fired up, ready to go, and ready to push forward and get this action started. And you have Wasabe, and she's just weighing the world on her shoulders. And Iwabe looks at her, and you can just tell, like, he's like, "What's going on?" Like, you're normally energetic and ready to fight. If you notice, they're always bumping heads. Like, it's a small rivalry that they have between each other, and you would expect a little bit more from them. And you just did not see that from their character, from Wasabe. So, going into the fight, they're talking, they're hand to hand combat, just a little bit of stuff, nothing too crazy. And Iwabe is basically telling her, he can tell that, um, he notices that her parents are in the stands, and they're saying, "I can't wait for you to be a Chunin, can't wait for you to be Hokage," and she's just shying up and saying, "I don't want to become Hokage," and basically, Iwabe takes that as a defense, because he's worked so hard to get to where he's at, and he's been building up, and his goal is always to be just like Naruto, if not better. And that was a slap in the face for him, because he feels like, you know, if you're not trying to become a Hokage, or if you're not aiming to be the best, then what are you really trying to do for yourself? Are you really trying to become the best ninja in the village, or are you settling for less? And that message struck a lot for me, because I love that message from Iwabe, because you shouldn't settle for less. You should always shoot for the stars and always put your best foot forward, right? And chase your goals. And I think that's important. And like I told you guys during the preview, I love Iwabe's character, because his growth just from the the youngin days to now is it's amazing. hated the world, didn't want to talk to anybody. His one goal was just to become the best, and now he's a teammate. He looks to Metal Lee and you know Dinky. He looks to those guys, and they're like a small family, and I appreciate that within the Boruto universe because they've grown so much together. And I think them, Iwabe going through that and just telling her that, um, was was amazing because Wasabe should shoot for better, should shoot for the stars, and want to be the best ninja that she can be. Whether that she's trying to become the Hokage or not, or if she becomes the Hokage or not, she should try to obtain being the best of the best because that's what the village is all about. And we get into a small interaction as far as um, with Sabe, and she keeps the scroll. Her grandmother gives her the scroll before the match with Owabe, and the scroll basically states she's tell her grandma states this is a thing that will enlarge you into a big cat that's supposed to be super powerful and legendary, and it falls out of her pocket, and Iwabe is questioning her, what is that? What is that? And she tells her, she tells him a brief little story and flashbacks of what her his grandmother was saying about that scroll. And Wasabi didn't believe her grandmother. She kind of just brushed it off, saying, "I don't believe in that." Another thing that's crazy about Wasabi's clan, they don't have any joning or it's crazy. Like it's real crazy that she's basically going to be the highest person within her clan, and I think that's a good thing for her clan. I really like that. Um, but back to the scroll. So the we cut back to the scroll. The scroll is laying on the floor, and she's stating that her grandma keeps stating like, it's gonna be as big as a tree. It's gonna be as big as a rock. Now it's as big as a mountain. And so Wasabi just slowly does not believe it anymore. So Awabe being Awabe, gosh, these two names, these two names are basically the same. Um, that's why they're meant for each other, by the way. Iwabe cuts to it and he's stating that you should use the scroll, like this is a match, we should be at the best of our best, and she's not believing in it, and he's basically saying you're just gonna let your grandmother down, and she has so much high hope for you and belief in you, you're just gonna let her, you're gonna hold her down. So Abe goes and builds this huge rock, a huge cat, build like a mountain, like legit mountain, and uses all of his chakra, but his important message was basically saying, was letting her know that you can achieve that. You can believe in yourself. And we get Wabe falls out, and the head is going to fall on Wabe, and Wasabi run towards him, and uses the scroll, and this big cat comes out. I think that's a big character development for Wasabe because I think she's going to get stronger after the tuning exams, and this would be an example for her to grow as a character. And Iwabe, I really appreciate what he did in this episode because he sacrificed so much. I don't think people realize how dope of a character he is, and I think that's important going forward within the Boruto universe. And I think it's important going forward in the manga as well, is that we need to establish his character. I think along the line, I think Iwabe is going to be one of those characters that has a meaningful death like Neji. You know, I think that he's going to have one of those deaths. I really do. In Shippuden, I believe in Boruto Shippuden, he is going to have one of the meaningful deaths because just his character and the respect that him and Boruto have for each other is so dope. And so the episode ends. Of course, Awabe he loses, doesn't have enough chakra to go forward, and Wasabi wins. And she should use that as an um, important going forward, right? So it's a good episode. 7 out of 10. I really want to know what Boruto and Mitsuki are about to uncover with Amato. I really want to know what's going on with that because that's kind of a weird thing, right? And then we got episode 225, which is going to be Chocho versus Sarada. I hope this episode is not a kiddish episode. I want to see some action, some growth between the characters, but mostly hand to hand combat because nobody respects Chocho. Even though she's grown and she has some dope jutsus, I want to see her go hand to hand with Sarada and have an amazing episode, an underrated episode that nobody expected from 225. And I'm hoping that um, some great things happen within that episode, and then we get some more from what's going on with Boruto and Mitsuki and Amato. I really hope so. But I'll do a preview on Friday for episode 225, just going a little bit more in depth with the episode. But yeah, all in all, Sunday's episode 224 was a 7 out of 10. Was expected a little bit more hand to hand combat, a little bit more jutsus flying, here and there, and just um, more between the characters. I wanted to see more from Awabe. Like, I feel like we haven't seen any new jutsus from him. I want to see more from Awabe. But it was still a pretty meaningful episode for Wasabe's sake and just showing how important Iwabe is to the Boruto next generation. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And like always, peace and love and have a blessed day.